Hello and welcome to another session of Gentle Yoga. My channel is Yoga with Laura Ashland, and today we're going to work on straps. We'll use the props of straps. We may use a few of the blocks today, but I'd like you to think you are at home, right? So what would you have at home? A bathrobe tie, a regular yoga strap. These are good because they have a little less give, but maybe you do want give. They have a links in order to adjust the tension on the strap or the length of the strap. We have martial art belt strap, and even a man's tie. So all of these things that you can get from your home and use as straps today. We will be practicing a little bit of standing balance with the strap and of course some laying down as well. So please take a moment if this is the strap session and run and find a strap somewhere in your home, and we will begin. And we'll go ahead and circle sweep the arms up, bring our breath with our movement, and exhale, hands to your heart. And twice more. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last one. Exhale, hands to the heart. Folding the hands, bringing the knuckles to the sternum, press out. Inhale, rise up. Turning into the right bicep with that right cheek. Another breath. Returning to neutral, left side of the cheekbone, jawbone into the left bicep, and a couple of breaths. And head coming back to center, lowering the arms on an exhale in front of you, reach, broaden the scapular blades in the back. Return the knuckles to the sternum and refold. Now looking down and noticing which index finger was forward. On this one, my right was forward. That's my natural grip. So we're going to switch. Opposite index now comes forward, knuckles to the sternum. Press out. Keeping the weave of the hand and as much rolling of the thumb as possible as you inhale and come up. Turning that left cheek into the left bicep. Noticing that right arm, does it bend or is it a little bit straighter? Close your eyes. And another couple of breaths. Bringing the skull back to neutral. Exhaling as you take the right side of the cheekbones into that right bicep. Press a little bit more of that arm right into the side of the skull. Stabilize that side. And returning the skull to center. Exhale, lower down. Enjoy that nice stretch across the back. Knuckles come into the chest. And roll the fist through the sternum and lower the arms. Very nice. We're going to go ahead and come into our backs today. I will choose the martial arts strap, and please make sure you have some kind of a prop with you. Actually, the bolster can come to the top of the mat, and you could lay your head right into a bolster or a low pillow, a rolled up towel. Some people will go right into the arc of the neck. Others will go right onto the occipital bone, the big bone in the back of the skull here, skull bone. So whatever feels good, or you may simply take that away altogether and lay flat onto the mat. To begin with, we're going to keep the left leg bent, but this leg is very powerful, so we're pressing the left foot into the mat, squeezing the thigh, stabilizing that left hip. Here is the power side, and the right side is going to become the mobile side or the flexible side. So we'll bring that knee up to the chest, and again, you've seen before in my other videos, staying away from the arch of the base of the foot where there are 5 tendons and a transverse tendon. Looks like a rake. You'd want to stay right there on the ball of the foot to avoid the feet fingers a little bit. They're kind of tender, those little stems. So we can go to the ball of the foot. If you feel it won't slip off, you certainly can try the heel. Evening out your strap, making sure it's as close as possible to even. And just kind of holding that leg up. You certainly could also be at a 45-degree angle. And that brings a very nice line here on that right side. So squeezing the left, stability, allowing the right side to be more mobile. And look for a moment at the wrists, that the wrists are not turned or here. That wrist is almost as if it was in a wrist band or some kind of a support for the wrist to keep it nice and straight. 2 choices with the fingers. You can go ahead and grip those fingers. That's good for the strength in the hand. If you want to have a nice grip, why not wake up the muscles in the hand a little bit? But if you feel like that's just going to start to cramp or be too much, you can loosen the grip. Whatever is comfortable for you. Do you need a little hand work? Now, besides reaching far away down the strap, notice I've lifted my shoulder off the ground as I'm trying to get a little bit closer. Now, if my foot goes down to 45 degree, I'm going to slide down that strap. But if I wanted my shoulder to be down a little more and the elbow, look at the difference in that. All of these are good. Whatever you wish to do, this is a nice balance of the back. You feel like you're squared up. You've got your hip points on the floor, your shoulder points or the scapula blade nice and rested on the floor. You might have a little less wrist action here. That might help your wrist. But keeping the elbow close to the body. And then again, sliding up. And then sliding even farther. But be very movement oriented on your strap. Don't lock into one spot and say, well, guess that's where it needs to be. And meanwhile, as you've explored all the different things with the arm, the grip, and the length of strap where it should be, your leg has been in this great inversion for up to 5 minutes if you wish. Now watch what happens if I come from a 45-degree angle, and then I want to go ahead and bring up the foot to, let's say, 0 degree. Let's say 0 was at the top and 90 is the floor. right away I've lost any wrist action, and I have a swinging, relaxed shoulder and elbow, and that's fine. But I think I would rather bring my arm into some movement here and get that wrist nice and straight. I might come up just a little bit. So lots of choices in holding the strap. Now let's go ahead and activate the upper body a little bit. We're going to prepare almost a knee toward the nose, but as much as you can do today. No one's judging, no one's watching. You feel what you can do. If you can see some appropriate alignment and some degree movement, degree work, that's fine. But really, this is all up to you. This is your practice at home. A big inhale, prepare. And as I exhale, I'm going to go ahead and just do a little mini lift and crunch. I am pressing down with that strap. Inhale, lower down, and we'll do 2 more. Prepare, inhale. Exhale, come up. Hollowing out the belly. On the next inhale, lower down. Exhale, relax. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, just very slightly. My shoulders are off the mat. I'm not trying to hike up that neck too much. If you need and you want to go ahead and hold the base of the skull up with a hand, of course. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale, relax. Now we're going to go ahead and take that leg out to the side. So we may just begin to let that right leg float. Go nice and slow to be warmed up. Maybe that leg is going far away from you, and here you're beginning to slide down that strap. You're keeping the arm close to you, any amount. Or you're holding here. Now my arm is more engaged, and I use that almost as a tripod. And again, any amount in the lowering of that leg. So I have a triangle between my right hand, my right foot, and the corner of my hip socket, and the armpit. So we've created a little bit of a nice secure shape. Now this leg can stay right where it is, your left leg, or if you wish to extend it out a little bit, you certainly may. So that's up to you, but keep your ankle flexed, keep the heel pressing forward. Notice the chin and the forehead, that they're parallel to the floor. This is also a wonderful way of strengthening the wrist. You have full support of the strap. You have beautiful physics with the ball of the foot, the length of the leg, stability in the shoulder, and the wrist in the middle is being tested for some strength, but safely. We're also rolling the left hip, rolling the femoral bone, rolling the rib cage toward the left. Bend your knee if you need to. Anytime you feel any strain, right? No sprain, no strain, no pain. You want to be right in there in the zone of safety. Now preparing that leg to rise up either straight or with a bent knee. Notice I had to bring my elbow in a little bit to bring that knee in. So whatever feels good for you. Inhale, press down with that left leg. Squeeze the left leg toward the floor and the mat as you raise up the right leg. And again, you certainly can come up with a bent leg. Now, I want to take my hip socket and line it back into neutral and get a nice, long stretch here. I'm still controlling the descent. I may decide to hover. That's a slight bit of core work. Or I'm going to go ahead and rest it down. But look how my hand slid almost the length of the strap. If your strap, your tie, your bathroom robe tie seems to be, you can always double up. You can knot up two pieces of material together. Bringing that knee in. I'm going to go ahead and meet the other knee and take the other side. So you could certainly make these adjustments any way you wish. Use both hands with each strap. We can go ahead and just exchange one foot for the other. Bringing the right foot now. Wake up that foot, press it into the mat. Look when I press. When I press the foot in, I've come forward a little bit. Here I go, unpressing. Press. See the length that you get in the spine. And we'll switch sides. Play with this length of the strap. Do you need to be this high in the shoulder? Would you prefer to be more at a 45-degree angle? Do you want to slide all the way back and rest the elbow? All three are good. Experiment with all three, but remembering to keep the wrist as straight as possible. As soon as I lower my foot to the 45 degree and I engage the arm, my hands squeeze into the belt here. So that squeezing is also very good for strength in the muscles of the palm and the fingers. If I'm here because I'm flexible, I'm going to have less hand and arm work. So by coming more toward a 45 degree without being back here, and this is another option, 45 degree, hand close. But by bringing my hand about midway, then dropping it to 45 degree, you can definitely feel the engagement of the arm. A wonderful play on physics and where is the energy arising? Where is the energy quieting? And as always, breathe naturally. Let this breath not be in the way. Sometimes it leads the way. Sometimes it's just working in sync with all the action. If we overthink our breath, then we're overthinking. So it's so much better to keep your breath as natural as possible. And at times, you'd like to take longer, slower, deeper inhales, longer, slower, deeper exhales, and begin to learn the control of the breath, activating the diaphragm, the lung, the throat. Now I'm going to press my foot into the mat, pick up my hip a little bit and send it off to the right side. My leg is kind of long and I may end up going toward that wall, and it doesn't matter. We're just going to go ahead and begin to float the leg out. If I want to go ahead and take the strap up a little closer, it took my arm out with it. I might decide to bring it up a little higher. Keep it off the height of the hip. There's the height of the hip. I may bend. All of these options are good. Explore. And then when you're ready, picking up the right leg, lowering it down, working to keep that right hip rolling to the right. Right rib cage rolling to the right. The upper ribs will come to the right if this arm comes out at T. If I come up here, I don't have as much control of the rib cage. We don't want it to flare either. You want to keep it nice and neutral. But if I come here, there went some of the weight of that arm, and my ribs will tend to follow the weight out. Close the eyes and feel the body holding, the body relaxing, the body balancing. Not only are we getting a wonderful adductor stretch of the inner thigh, but you're also working on the Achilles, a little bit of a stretch in the tendons at the base of the foot very gently. We don't want to inflame those tendons. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, press down the energy of this whole right side as if something heavy was landing on that right side of my body. Inhale as you control the ascent of the leg. Exhale as you let it go. Let that hand slide right down the strap. Then bringing both legs up and fitting both feet inside. Now I'm going to use both hands, both strap pieces, and both feet. And again, here, is it better to be down? Would you prefer to be 45 degrees? Would you prefer to slide the hands up and create that balancing, almost isometric move? Couple of breaths here. Or do you prefer relaxed? Keep the flexibility and the play in this prop. Folding the knees, removing the strap. Now what we did here was we took the leg out and we're opening the adductor muscle here. So we're kind of working on the hamstring a little bit and on the adductor muscle. So that's one way of working the leg. However, the side, the IT band and the side of the leg and all the soft tissue around the knee is not being really worked to that aspect. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-strap that original right foot, ball of the foot. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my hip a little bit more, extend that left leg, and then switching hands, because we're going to the left. I set it up on the right, but then I'm moving it to the left. So now we're going to take the leg and cross over that mid-plane to the opposite side. Again, change the strap up a little bit. You could certainly put a block or a bolster here to capture the foot or a high pillow. But notice the rolling of the left leg. I don't want the kneecap toward the sky. I want my left kneecap facing out like it had a little light on it. That beam of light was shining toward the wall. So you still want that nice rotation in that bottom left leg. If you can open the right side and come to T-shape here, this is wonderful. If that's too much, dial it back in. Bring the elbow closer. Rest on the rib cage. Rest on the hip. Take your arm up and over. There's lots of ranges here for the arm. And meanwhile, what a wonderful stretch here in the top of the IT band where there's usually a big knot. And that IT band tucks under the gluteal area, and the glutes have a very short tendon here. It's just a couple of inches. So we don't want to overstretch the side of the glutes either. This is really coming from the fascial tissue, the cartilage, tendon and ligament in the side of the leg. As you create yet another shape between my left foot, my right hand, my left hand, my right foot together here, you can kind of sink in the middle of the body and create a twist that drops in the organs of the belly. And again, if the leg's not going to the floor, please put a prop underneath it. You can also go all the way over and put your foot on the wall, and the wall would stop any more descent of the leg if that's too much for you. Now when you're ready, activate that left leg. The flexion of the left ankle, the powerful leg. We don't want it just kind of hanging out back here. You want it nice and strong. Stabilize that hip. As that leg is pressing into the floor, squeeze, inhale, come up with the right leg. Bend the knee and send the right leg down to meet the left. Now I'm going to shift a little bit, come back into the center of the mat. See, I'm using my elbows and skull. I'm not using the thoracic spine. As I inchworm around on the mat, I never scooch the spine. So I press the skull in, use the elbow, shift over. Bring the elbows and the skull back in line. Pick up the hip, shift it. So you want to make sure you always use the very strong parts of the back body. And stay off the spine for sure. Now we'll just switch sides. And the strap again is fairly even. We certainly don't want it to be like that. Picking up that hip, giving myself a little bit of space. I'm going to go ahead and lower that right leg. Power in the flexed ankle. Toes are spread. Ignite the foot. The stabilizing is coming from the right side now so that my left side becomes mobile. Take your time as you control the descent. And allow the right hip to roll. Let it go all the way over so that the kneecap is now facing the opposite side, and I have a nice, powerful leg underneath, nice and stable, and I may stretch out the left arm to create a balance. That way I'm not tipping too much to the right. This left arm coming to the left direction has created a kind of a counterbalance to this piece. Most of my body, obviously, 3 limbs are on the right side. My 4th limb is the only one here at the left. You certainly could also pick up the skull and turn it and look and face the left fingernails, but we didn't do that on the first side, so I would suggest to put that into your practice another time when you can equal both sides. Let the belly drop and be soft on the exhale. Send the right side toward the floor. It's almost like a collapsing of the organs and the twisting of the belly. But the power is in my right side foot, my skull, my left arm. You may find that this side is your friendlier side, or this side is your not so friendly side. And that is the practice of yoga, is to get both sides equal. They feel just as strong and just as flexible, evenly. And through the course of our careers and our long lives, we have created habits with where the bones lay, and it's actually not as much the bones as it is the soft tissue, the tendon, the ligament, the muscle, the cartilage, that we are retraining very slowly so that they control the motion of the bones and the level of the bones. When you're ready with an inhale, I'm going to press my skull down into the mat. That engages almost my upper back muscles. I'm going to press my right leg into the mat or into the floor. Inhale, come up with a straight leg. Roll the hip. Exhale, let that left leg go down to meet the right leg. Here we would want to maybe come through a little bit moment of bridge pose. I'm going to reline up my vertebrae, square the hips, vertebrae in the center, tuck in, press those feet into the mat, and then maybe come up with just a little bit of an open stretch here, especially since those legs crossed over and you had that tight, I don't even want to say contraction, but you had this flexion in the leg. The flexor muscles, of course, were folding, so we want to open up the flexor muscles here. And as you lower, you might get your blades out to the side a little bit and expose the thoracic spine as you come down. So that took care of the legs. Out with the adductor, crossing over. Out with the other leg, getting a nice supported hamstring stretch, crossing over the other side. So we will find our way up. You know what we can do to come to standing? We're going to do one more piece for a little balance work in the same vein as what we just did. Now you could certainly just grab the backs of the legs and roll up, but since we have our strap, there's two ways to come up. You can bend the knees, get your toes over your eyebrows. Notice my good support here in the hands. And inhale, come up using the length of the strap, or you certainly could do it without the strap at all. The other way is to come long legs. And again, if you're at home in your carpet, it feels fine on the spine to roll. Sometimes if you're on a wooden floor like this is, with the mat, it might be a little too crunchy for the spine, so be careful here. As you come up, elbows should be kind of close to the rib cage. If they're up here, I'm not getting enough support in the torso for the rise. But if I bring them back here, toes over the eyebrows, inhale, come up, right? So just another way of coming to seated is you can use the strap, or you can certainly use your hands, or you can use no hands to come up. So let's find our way to standing. go with a different strap. Let's try the tie. So here we go with a little bit of balance. We're just going to step in. There are the rubber ties that, not ties, but the rubber straps that give a little bit. I see them in a lot of exercise classes, and that's fine. But because they do give, you may be stretching beyond your ability for that day, so you want to be really careful. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and bring up the leg and hold here. We did this yesterday without the, or last session, excuse me, without strap. And then I'm going to press the leg up. Again, elbow is close, foot is flexed. Inhale, bring the knee as high as hip. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, shift, lift that knee. Exhale, press. Inhale, bring the knee back to the 90 degree. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale, shift the weight to that left foot. Keep a nice seal of ball and heel, but a lift of the arch. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press. Inhale, return. Exhale, lower. And we'll take it to the other side. Also, use of the wall if you need to have the wall. Inhale, shift. Now my right foot wakes up. Notice my toes can even lift because I'm pressing the ball and the heel in. My toes are free. Now once I raise this leg, the toes will go down in the mat because I need them for the balance. This first becomes power to prepare the leg. Then I'm going to lower those toes. Inhale, bring up that knee. Exhale, press it out. Inhale, return the knee. Exhale, lower down and shift back so that the center of gravity is right down through the base of the body. Inhale, shift over to the right. Center of gravity has changed. It's pretty much on the inside of that right leg. Next, inhale brings up the knee. Exhale, press. Inhale, the knee comes back to 90 degree or line with the hip. Exhale, back. 1 more. Shift. Inhale, bring up the knee. Exhale, press. Maybe here. Inhale, bring the knee back, 90 degree. Exhale, lower and shift the weight, center of gravity. Very good. So the straps can be used for balance work as well. Now we'll go ahead and take yoga strap. And you can knot any of these straps together. I think the yoga accessory straps are about 5 feet, some are 6 feet. And this time, we will go ahead and hold a little bit of the countertop to get started. Or you hold a chair, make sure your chair is in the rubber or up against a wall. So here, the leg is going to come up. I'm going to take it out, and then we're going to swing the leg out to the side. Let go of the countertop if possible. You have a nice bind of the foot. Inhale, swing it back. Bend the knee. Exhale, shift. Very nice. Now certainly you would turn around and go to the other side. I'll just step to the side of the mat and hopefully that I'm not going to fall. But that's what we do, we practice. Shift that weight. See, my toes came up. Ball and the heel press in. I may bring up the knee. Press forward. Exhale, come out. Inhale, return. Let's try that again. Inhale, return. Exhale, lower. Shift the weight to center. Very good. So yet another way, up and out, down, up and out, and down. Have something to hold, work on your balance in midair. It's all great. Any kind of balance is good. So today, we just worked with a little straps, little variety of straps. Thank you for joining me. More sessions to come. Namaste.